name is Michael Schenkel, and I just realized my mic is in the way. I'm the chair of ANC 2C, and I'd like to welcome you to our September 9th, 2025 meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is 6:02 p.m. We have 3 commissioners present at the moment, and I would like the commissioners to introduce themselves, and I'll start over here to my right with Commissioner Groth.
I'm Nancy Groth. I'm the commissioner of 2C02 Soma, south of Mass Ave and traditional downtown.
And I am Jim Swart, although I'm apparently have been kicked off the this chat. I'm a commissioner for ANC 2C04, which covers a part of Chinatown, covers city center and downtown. Good to see you.
And I'm the commissioner for 2C01, which is Chinatown and Penn Quarter, Gallery Place, and parts of downtown. So welcome, everybody. With 3 of 4 commissioners present, we do have a quorum, so we'll move forward with tonight's meeting. Let's first do approval of our agenda.
I would like to propose a small addition to the agenda, please.
Sure, hang on one second. My share is not working. Let's try this again. Okay.
Yeah.
There is our agenda this evening. The agenda can also be downloaded at anc2c.us, and you can download the current agenda there. And Commissioner Groth.
Under neighborhood collaborations, I'd like to add a third thing for the Thompson Elementary PTO. They emailed us yesterday, and I want to make sure in a public meeting we figure out how to respond.
Okay. Awesome. There is one other correction. 608, 624 I Street will be removed from planning, zoning, environment, and historic preservation. So that will be coming off of tonight's agenda. Any other corrections or additions to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Move to accept as corrected and amended.
I second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Swart. All those in favor? So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. We have been joined by, Commissioner Lee this evening. So welcome, Commissioner Lee. We did not get the updated minutes from our last meeting until just a few moments ago. So we will not be able to approve those minutes at this meeting. The commissioners need to have time to review those minutes prior to their approval.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we use a minutes service who compiles them from the video. And then as secretary, I go through and sort of clean up minor edits so that we're all working from a clean copy. So I will do that as soon as I get to it.
So we will
The August minutes.
We will delay that and we will put that on our agenda for next month. I'm going to skip over the treasurer's report while Commissioner Lee settles in. Under administrative items from last time on our agenda, our bank signature cards, which we are going to the bank on 9/11 on Thursday to update that signature card so that we can continue to write checks. The website refresh.
I've done nothing on that. Have you put out the job description for admin support?
I have not. So we
There
will
we
get
go.
that out. We will get that out. So that is available for people to do that. For those of you who are interested, we will be posting a temporary consulting position for an admin person to help support the commissioners with the work that they do. So that will be coming out. So look for that. We'll put an announcement out on our listserv as well. We'll move forward with our special presentation this evening, and that is from MPD 1, our District Commander Colin Hall. I see Commander Hall is with us. So welcome.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the introduction. Glad to be here. I really wanted to come on tonight and just talk to everybody, be here to answer any questions. So I'll make some brief comments on kind of the state of things, where we're at, and then leave time for questions if anybody has any. So we've had an interesting 30 days, last 30 days to say the least, in the city, in the first district. And for those that aren't aware, the first district covers, in the ANC, covers Chinatown and much of the Penn corridor downtown. It's a very active area for the first district. I've been here and the commander of the first district for over 2 years. I started here in 2023, and I have 27 years on the police department. So I could have retired 2 years ago, but I enjoy what I'm doing. I have great folks working with me, like my teammate here, Captain Herbenek, who is on the line with me. And I know he does a great job. He covers the Chinatown and Penn Quarter areas for us, as well as the Mount Vernon Triangle. These are all very important areas for us, high focus for us. With what's happened over the last 30 days with the federal deployment, we're coming up on marker point in this deployment for tomorrow, which is set for tomorrow. The 30 days order expires tomorrow. But I would just want to kind of tell you what that looks like, what we're kind of looking at happening, and there's some things we may not know until they actually happen, how it looks. But currently, we're expected to continue in some capacity with the task force, and the deployments that we've seen may change in shape or numbers or form in some way. But as the mayor directed, we will continue to coordinate out of our command center and work with our federal partners. It's not much unlike what we've done, especially downtown. We have many federal partners that we work with, and we've always worked with, Metro Transit, U.S. Park Police, U.S. Capitol Police. These are our partners that we really rely on. They're definitely force multipliers for us. All the way over to Amtrak, the DEA, FBI. We join task force with them on a regular basis. What this deployment has done is it's just given it a different look and a different feel. Where a lot of times those interactions may be just in the normal course of work. What we're doing are in our normal partnerships. This created task force was created. We operate out of a command center that directs the task force. It's a 24/7 operation. We are deploying with our federal partners, which also we've had some that we haven't worked with in the past that now we are working with. So it's brought a lot of different agencies into the fold, put them out in a more visible area. Most of the ones we normally work with, you're going to see anyway, Park Police, Capitol Police, Metro Transit, they're going to be out there. But some of you are FBI, DEA, ATF. They don't usually show up on the street and patrol the street in the fashion that they've been doing during these last 30 days. So that was definitely a different look. And then some of those federal partners, we don't see much, like IRS, HSI. You really don't see them out on the streets patrolling in that format. So had a different look, a different feel to it. part of it, we kind of divided down into several areas, whether it's going to be a high visibility team, we'll have a hot spot team, and then there's investigative teams. One of the things that was done during this, I think was important, is what MPD has tried to do is embed our own officers with all those teams when they go out. And there's some reasons for that. One, we're working with them, but also it's very important for us to keep up our community engagement, our relations with the community. Very important that when this is done and as we continue through it, that we continue to have those open dialogues, transparency. And we know the community. A lot of our federal partners do not know the community. We also are going to be that face that you're going to be able to talk to. Our officers will act as a liaison and someone that you can definitely, follow up with as well. They're all going to have a command. My officers are out in the task force as well. So if you're engaging with some of the MPD officers that are with the task force in the first district, they're most likely going to be first district officers, which I think is a good thing. Now, there may be officers from other areas as well that come into the first district area, but that allows you then to, if there's an issue, the community can follow up through our normal chain of command to see what occurred. We'll get questions about what we're doing, but to put it in a nutshell, the whole goal is to reduce crime. That was the number one goal. And that's pretty much everybody's goal. Our mission every day is public safety. We want everyone in the city to be able to come in, enjoy the city, people to be able to live here safely, people to go out to our restaurants safely, people to work at our establishments safely. And it's very important for us that occurs. So things that we can do to help reduce that, we have more officers on the streets. Those things really help. Another piece of that was having the National Guard out here. So there's 2,300 troops deployed throughout the district. A lot of them were deployed or are currently deployed in the first district. We have some that have been in Chinatown, the Navy Yard, the Wharf, along Southwest as well. They've been along each street corridor northeast. And then along the mall, we've had quite a few down in those areas. And they've made an effort to put them in areas around the metro stations. And typically we've seen is where they are, we aren't seeing a lot of crime around those areas. So it has had an overall impact. That looks like that order also has been extended. So it looks like the National Guard will be staying with us a little longer. And then we'll see after we get into this next 30 days exactly how that changes. But on a daily basis, we're doing these things. We go out and we work with our partners and we're there with them. They're assisting us. We're assisting them. Some of the benefits to it is when we have our federal agencies, there's different things we all bring to the table. We know the city, we know the community better than any of these agencies. They have some tools that maybe we don't have that we can utilize for investigative purposes. So it can enhance our abilities as well. Now it's all being combined into a task force that's run out of our JOC, which is downtown, our headquarters. So we can centralize and keep track of everything that's occurring and it gets directed that way. So that's how it's looked. And when it expires tomorrow, we expect it to continue in a similar fashion. It may change in some way, but we expect it to still continue in that fashion according to what the mayor directed. So we'll be doing that and we're open for questions on any of that. And just to follow up a little bit on so that's kind of the federal piece. And when I end, I'm glad to take any questions about it. Usually that's one of the biggest questions I get, concerns from the community when I come out is what's going on with the federal deployment and a lot of concerns with that. Also, I just want to talk a little bit about Chinatown. It's been a huge piece of our deployment. We continue with the hub, the Safe Streets Corridor hub. I think it's been a really good installation in Chinatown. We deploy 2 officers there every day to work with the city partners there. Our officers are out checking businesses, making engagements with the community, and they walk around on foot throughout Chinatown doing that, and they come back into the hub. So if you're around, you want to check in, stop in the hub, we welcome that. There's also DPH there. There's all sorts of different agencies. The executive office of the mayor, the Mokers are in there as well, so you can get different services. But it's there, and it's right at a key point, right across from the Gallery Place Metro, which is the busiest, one of the busiest hubs in Chinatown. So we think we've made a lot of good headway in Chinatown. It looks a lot different than it did in 2023. We want to keep it that way, but definitely you all are our eyes and ears out there. So whatever you're seeing, please let us know. I know Captain Herbenek's on here every month, so communicate that to him. Let me know. We want to definitely keep on top of all of that, and just keep that rolling in a positive way. We've had a lot of talks with Mount Vernon Triangle up in that area as well because the two areas are connected. So keeping that area clear and safe is a high priority for us. And I see I got questions, so we'll go ahead and jump into questions.
Thank you so very much, Commander Hall. I appreciate you being here and providing some updates for us. Commissioner Rock has a question.
Yes, actually, I have one comment and two questions. Just one comment again for the record, the hub on H Street is not compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. There's no door opener on the door, and I've been asking for over 2 years for just at least a doorbell to be installed so that someone in a wheelchair or who needs assistance with the door could get anyone's attention to come open the door. So that's just a comment for the record. My first question is, a lot of my constituents are very concerned about the federal police constabulary not being identifiable in masks, in unmarked cars, without identifiers or badges or names or any way to be held accountable. So the mayor has spoken about that. Can you let us know what the status of that is? And then I have another question after that.
Right. And I have to go back to what the mayor said and that urging them to do that. When it comes down to it, we can't make them do it. But the mayor has asked that and is urging them to do that. The second piece of that is our officers are there and we are that engagement piece. So typically you're going to see, now they can operate without us, that could happen. But the way that it's constructed is our officers are out there with that team. So there is someone that you can identify, and it's going to be MPD because we're always going to be transparent and we're always going to be identifiable. And if we're not, that's going to be a problem. So there is somebody that you can talk to and you can follow up with in that way through MPD. And then, so it's not just this nameless agency that's out there. But I think overall, it's a valid point and one that has been brought to the highest levels that we can bring it to if the mayor is saying it and urging those agencies to comply with that.
On behalf of my constituents who consistently express alarm and horror and concern over this, please continue to amplify that to the mayor. My other question is about within my own single member district, how can I hold the National Guard responsible for their actions? I'm speaking specifically about McPherson Square Park, where a, frankly, photo op of guardsmen spreading mulch around the trees to somehow beautify it. For the record, the only place in my entire district where I am afraid to go at night is that park, and it's not because of humans, it's because of the tens of thousands of rodents that infest that park. So to me, I don't know very much about rodent abatement, but to me, tons of mulch looks like great bedding material for the four-legged residents of McPherson Square, all for a photo op. The Georgia Brown's lovely restaurant across the street and the high-end condo building across the street where my constituents live I'm sure they would have been much happier with rodent abatement than a photo op for mulch. So I understand that's probably in second district, not in first, but my leadership question is there any point of contact with the guard over something to even lodge the complaint?
There is. Every agency, including National Guard, has contacts for the community that you can voice your complaints. Of course, they're going to fall under the National Guard, and there's a leadership chain for the DC National Guard, and then Department of Defense as well. You could also voice it to your DC representatives, city council, and the mayor. I'm sure they're already aware of those types of things going on.
Yeah, I know my neighborhood a lot better than apparently anybody in any ability to dispatch people. So I would just like if someone from the police department, or I can ask Mokers also to give me contact information just so that I can lodge a complaint for the record. I would appreciate that.
Sure, can look into where you can contact them and get that back to you. And hopefully the rodents don't like that mulch too much, because we don't want any more than we have to have.
There are both squirrels and the other ones, and there are literally tens of thousands of them.
Going to
That's good
transfer. I'm going to transfer over to Commissioner Swart.
Hello, Commander Hall. I appreciate your email to several of us the other day when we told you that we appreciated the fact that Gallery Place, Chinatown had been a drug-free zone for the apparent maximum amount of time. And it ended the day school began. And you offered an opportunity to look into for us the idea of having a more frequent period, not necessarily of the time, but more frequent installations of a drug-free zone there. And we certainly do appreciate that. And hopefully that can happen, because there's a school just a block and a half away from that area. And lots of people go there. It's a wonderful place for tourism and people who live in the area as well. So the more we can have drug-free zone there, the better off we'll all be. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and we will definitely be bringing it back. We just have to space it out a little bit, but we'll definitely be back there, because I think it's been an important piece of the crime reduction puzzle. It really gives us a tool, and I like you, I actually wish we could extend it. There's a lot of things I wish we could extend. One, the juvenile curfew zones, those were great that we had. The drug-free zones, they're great. They give us extra tools. So yeah, I agree with you on that. But we're gonna keep bringing it back. It's one of ours that you'll see again.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Commander, I had a question about these checkpoints that we see in the news with MPD and federal officers stopping cars, looking registration, driver's license, et cetera. I've never seen that before in the district, especially in the morning as people are getting to work and leaving work and things like that. Well, why is that happening now?
Yeah, so it's interesting. That's actually a question that I get very frequently. So it's a good question. And it's interesting that it is a question that we get frequently, because I think what it is it's publicized more, and it's also different agencies with us with that different look. But we've actually been doing those traffic checkpoints for probably 2 years. Now they stopped. We were doing them a lot before COVID, I would say. Then they kind of stopped, and we brought them back. So we've been doing them. It's just now we have the federal partners there. So basically all it is, it's very simple what it is it's an area that's established that we're going to have a lot of officers there. We have safety precautions set up, so it looks like there's a big, airport kind of thing going on there. But really, it's just officers are stationed there and they're looking for traffic violations of cars as they come through. So if you drive through that area and, maybe you're not wearing your seatbelt, you're getting pulled over and there's a ticket. If your, registration's expired, you're going to get pulled over as a ticket. If you drive through with your headlights off and it's night, you're going to get pulled over. So that's kind of what it is. It's an enhanced traffic tool. Now, other things may come from it because whenever we conduct traffic, there may be arrests because a lot of people, unfortunately drive without a driver's license, or they drive on a suspended license, or their tags are fake or fraudulent. So we find those things, and then we may find other things, as we conduct an arrest for that. So, it may lead to other things, but the reason that we are having it is for traffic safety, and we actually get a lot of, it's always a half dozen one, six of the other half dozen of one, where a lot of people they complain about traffic when we do traffic, but when we don't, people complain that we're not. So we know that we have to do traffic to keep the city safe as well, because people will drive, erratically and just, unsafe. So it's part of that whole safety structure to do that. But it does have a different look, and that's why I think it's coming to the forefront now. So you're not the only one that I get that concern quite a bit. But I think the main thing is just to know that that's what all it is that, and that we've been doing that for a couple of years.
Got it. I have 5 more questions from folks in the room and online. I know we're at the end of our time here, but I think it's important for us to have these questions answered. We're going to start with Howard Marks online.
Thank you, Chairman Schenkel. Commander Hall, thank you so much for spending your time here this evening with us. I'm the Vice President of the Condo Board at the Residency Gallery Place. 197 units. We have 300 people here. I just wanted to echo what you had to say about the drug-free zones. When the term sheet was signed between Monumental Sports and Entertainment and the city regarding keeping the arena here for the Caps and the Wizards, part of that agreement with the city was that whole block was to become a drug-free zone. That is the block on 7th Street from F all the way up to H and eastward. And the city is now told Monumental Sports that it can't implement that. It has to follow these laws or rules. That has to be done sporadically. This is a great disappointment, I know, to them and to us. And I'm so glad, Commander, that you have reached that issue. You mentioned it's a wonderful tool for you. And, if you need legislative relief, I can't speak for Brooke Pinto, our council member, but I'm sure if the police went to the district, to the council and said, this has to be changed, it's not doing the job that it was intended to do. Trust me, now that the National Guards are out here, my wife and I, when we walk our dog late at night, the drug dealers have disappeared. They don't want to be around uniformed police and certainly around National Guardsmen. So we desperately need your help in whether it's legislative relief or even more frequent drug-free zones in that neighborhood, because it's driving business away. It's not good for the neighborhood. And, and the other thing is about the hub. I totally agree with Commissioner Groth about the way this hub has been handled. If someone were to be, God forbid, were to be shot across the street from the hub, bystanders would have no idea that that's a police outpost. It has this robin blue coloring. There's no big sign saying this is a police precinct or a police outpost. I've never seen these 2 people you mentioned. They've never come around to our building asking how they could help us. So I think there has to be intense look at this hub, especially on the south side of H Street. In the commercial side of our building, there's a sign saying Chinatown Police Unit. What is that about? You know, it's a big sign, and apparently this no longer exists, but the sign was never taken down. So there's a lot of people waiting. Thank you so much for your attention and your time, Commander. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for your points. It's good to hear. But one thing I would definitely do, Mr. Marks, because I know how your condo association has, from the beginning when I took over, we're basically crying out for help with the issues around there, and I hope we've eased some of it. I know it's not maybe a perfect, the way we want it right now, but we're still continuing to work on it. But we'll have them come around there and meet you and make stops in there. You can tell us how you want that to look. So you do get to know those officers, and you can contact them if you have issues. And just briefly, the Chinatown sign, there used to be Chinatown unit that was part of our special liaison unit. It's been centralized to another area and centralized into the special liaison branch. We do have a Chinatown unit. It's more tactical and performs a different function than what they did, which was more of an engagement. Our Chinatown unit is out making arrests, drug arrests, and quality of life arrests.
Got it. Thank you very much for that. Joy is up next.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir, for taking time to be with us today. I really appreciate all of the information. There is one federal partner that I didn't hear you mention. I apologize if I missed it. And that is ICE. I was hoping you could talk a little bit more about the activity in the ANC that your officers are working with ICE and how that's going. I'm really concerned about the safety and well-being of our undocumented neighbors, particularly with the National Guard and ICE. So I'd just like a little bit more information about that partnership and what you've been seeing on that front.
Right. So ICE is, one of the partners that is involved in the task force. So they do come out with us. ICE does what ICE does. So if we're there with them, we act as in a support role. We don't engage in ICE-driven activities, but we do support them as we would any law enforcement, officers that we're with. So what I mean by that is if they're assaulted, if they run into some sort of issue, we're going to be there to help them with that. But we're not out there doing ICE investigations. But you will see us with them, and that's part of the partnership, and that's part of the executive order from the president. That we are in our capacity, we are pulled into that federal realm. But that doesn't mean that we're out there performing those tasks. But we are going to be with them when they're performing those tasks and support them in that way. So now at the end of the 30 days, when this expires, I can't say what the next phase is going to look like in that capacity. So we'll have to kind of see, wait for more direction on that. But that's until we get different direction, that's the way we behave out there.
Understood. A follow-up question, if I may. Are you able to tell us how many of those ICE operations your officers have participated in?
I couldn't tell you. It would just be a guess that we're teamed up with them, and we go out every day. It's a 24-hour operation, so quite a few. I would say that we're there when they're conducting operations. But I don't have.
I'm asking how many people have been apprehended by ICE with your officers.
Well, our officers aren't apprehending people for ICE.
Well, your officers are present as part of the partnership.
We'll be present. But I don't have the number, unfortunately.
Is there a way we could get that information?
It might be public. There's been 2,100 arrests since the task force began. That was the last number I had. Over 180 firearms. recovered. I don't have the number of ICE detentions, but I'm sure it's probably something that's out there, in the news. I would think that's
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. I haven't seen numbers on the ward specifically that are being reported, so I'd appreciate it if someone could follow up with that information.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll start back here in the back. Yeah. We're going to take a question in the room.
Hi, I just wanted to push back on some of the language that you were saying that this whole federal partnership is just a different look. So I help with jail support, which is hanging outside the courtroom, helping people who are being released from central cell block. They're kept in like pretty deplorable conditions. So we like try to help them out with like free water, free food, bus directions, etc. So before the occupation, we would generally see about like 60 to 80 people released on Mondays. We go out on Mondays. So 60 to 80 people, generally speaking, and they would finish processing those by like 7 p.m. and then we'd be done. In the last few weeks, we've seen over 100 people every single time be released, sometimes 120, sometimes 130. Like it is a huge massive spike in the amount of arrests that are happening. It is unconscionable. And our team, we're out there to like, one time we were out there to like 1 a.m. because it took so long to process everyone. It is like not just a different look, a different feel. It is a completely different operation. So I think it's pretty despicable that you would kind of just try to lie to us like that. I think all of this is just terrible. I hope you just don't get any sleep at night, that you have to partner with ICE. Just awful.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate your point of view. And I think you're doing a very good deed by handing out water and making the conditions for those that have been through the cell block a little more comfortable. So thank you for that. I appreciate that human touch that you're providing. But I will just say that with more officers out there, with more help, we're going to make more arrests. We're down, it's a very public knowledge. We're down, 500 plus officers from where we were. It's actually more than that. We're 3,100. So, we're supposed to be around 4,000. So you could do the math. If we had 800, 900 more officers, we'd be making a lot more arrests. And like I said, the mission is public safety. So at the end of the day, we're making arrests of those that are breaking the law. So I'm glad that people are out there making the conditions more humane for those that have been in the cell block. So thank you for that, sir.
I'd like to go to Janice online with us.
Good evening, and thank you, Commander, for being here. I'm the former ANC 2F08, which used to encompass Thompson Elementary School. Getting back to ICE, just wanting to know if parents and children should continue to remain fearful that they may be separated from their loved ones, because it has happened. So just curious to find out about that particular area.
Well, I don't think that they should be in fear. And that's the exact opposite of anything we'd want on the streets of DC. I can't speak to the federal immigration detention and their process, but I haven't seen in DC necessarily where there's been children targeted. But all I can say is that I wouldn't want them to be in fear of that. But I can't really talk about how the ICE is handling their processing, because it's not something that we deal with. That's separate from anything that we're going to deal with.
Okay. Well, I would just ask, just like the other gentleman, to have our city's enforcement to advocate for our
Yes,
because
ma'am.
of this, to please advocate, regardless of what's going on. This is our city, and we expect that our law enforcement, because we support you and we have very good relationships with our law enforcement, especially in the Ward 2 area around here, to please advocate for our children and for our citizens, for our adults. Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. We love the community, and thank you for that.
And we have one final question for Commander Hall.
Commander, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm concerned about the open-endedness of this exercise and the fact that alternative facts can be used to justify it. Has the city or MPD determined any sort of metrics that you can determine the success of this operation, that will we justify it continuing, or it's unsuccessful and we'll shut it down, or it's so successful we don't need to worry about doing it anymore?
Well, I think again, I would echo what the mayor has said and said that our crime has been trending lower. It was low at the start of this. It's gotten lower throughout it. And as she just recently said, we don't need an emergency here. So I think that the more that we continue with this, there's going to be other areas in the nation, as you can, if you watch the news, we try not to be very political. We're here for everybody. So we're here for public safety. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of politics involved in this, but as long as we're keeping crime down, we're doing our part. I think the goal is to walk our way out of this at the end of the day. That's part of it. Is the 30 days ends tomorrow. It's not being extended. So now we're into a new phase, which is a slow walk to another area. So if we keep slow walking and things keep going very well, hopefully we'll get to the point where everybody is satisfied.
Commander Hall, thank you so very much for being with us tonight and dedicating so much of your time to us. We really appreciate you being out here with us.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
And thank you for your service. We appreciate you and your 30 years.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move forward with community announcements. Is anybody from MPD 2-1 with us? Is Lieutenant Garvin? Okay. We will move forward. So just get my list up here. Sorry. Captain Harbach, do you wish to add anything this evening? I think I lost him. I guess that's a no. That's great. I think we probably exhausted that. I see Sergeant Robinson. He might be away. And then we have Lieutenant Barga with us from Metro.
Good evening, Lieutenant Bargy for Metro Transit Police Department. I don't have any specific crime trends for the ANC. Overall, crime within the Metro system is down. I believe the number is 37% from last year, which is a significant decrease in the number of violent crime victims that we had from last year. We have seen a slight uptick, which we do this time of year, in electronic device thefts. So for folks riding the system, just kind of be aware of your surroundings, keep your phone put away. Headphones is the other target item that we've seen. The other issue that we've been having lately is the electric scooters and the electric bikes. So if you could just let your folks know to use like U-locks. The cable locks are very easy to defeat. So we've been trying to do some U-lock giveaways, but they're kind of hard to come by right now. So, but yeah, that's kind of what we've been dealing with right now. Other than that, I don't have anything in particular. Any questions?
How has the federal enforcement impacted Metro?
So we have been participating in that as well. Primarily, it has looked the way the MPD was speaking about it is, the federal partners are there as backup for our people. We're doing our usual operations, just with more involved parties, essentially. So same thing that we always do. We're doing fair enforcement in the stations, on the buses, and everything that goes with that. We just have federal partners to back us up.
Okay. Great. Any questions, commissioners? Go ahead. Could you use your mic so they can hear?
Officer Barger, did you say there was an increase in arrests on the metro system?
So, the kind of the same sentiment as the MPD was talking about is we have seen an increase in arrests as a result because again, we have, more people working, we have more backup. So we can kind of take our resources and spread them a little thinner, but we have federal backup to go along with them. So there has been an uptick in arrests, but it's been the same thing that we normally do, just on a slightly larger scale.
I do have two questions online. One is from Anne. I don't know if your hand is up from before or you have a question for Metro.
Hi, sorry, my hand has been up from before, and I'm sorry, I forgot to take it down. I'm just actually typing my question for the previous officer into the chat.
Oh,
hopes that
gotcha.
somebody can pass it through to him. So I'll take my hand down. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. And then I have Howard Marks.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. So I live right above the Metro bus stop at 7th and H northbound. Buses going in the direction of Silver Spring. Your officers have been out there the last several days giving citations to people who are Metro bus fare evaders, not Metro Rail, but Metro bus. This is quite unusual. I haven't seen this since I moved downtown in 2005. I find it really curious. Many of the buses, the drivers open up the rear door and passengers who have no intent in paying are kind of like waved aboard the bus by these drivers. Secondly, even if you board in the front of the bus, there's no turnstile. There's no kind of mechanism that would make you pay. People just get on and they walk to the back and say, I'm not paying. So what's going on here? I mean, how could you enforce this evasion unless you put the instruments on the buses to stop people from not paying? Thank you.
So there's a few things here. We have always had enforcement on the buses. Historically, it's been a plainclothes team. We had that for a very long time. Now it's a combination of plainclothes and uniform officers. Ever since, I want to say it's been about 6 months ago, we started to do more fare evasion enforcement on the buses. So it's been ongoing for quite a while. We did have the buses, if you notice the front and the rear of the bus, it'll display the bus route that it's on and it'll say fare required on the front of the bus. Having some kind of a turnstile on the bus wouldn't really work that well. They do have the targets right up at the front. Is signage everywhere that says what the fare is and that it is required. We've been training our bus operators to not tell people, hey, you have to pay your fare. That has resulted in a lot of assaults on the bus operators. We prefer that they remain non-confrontational about it because that's not, their job is to get people safely A to B on the bus, not to make sure that they're paying. In reference to the rear door opening, there is now actually a smart trip target at the rear door. So there is the option to board from the rear, but again, they're expected to pay the fare. You're supposed to touch the card. The fare machines on the buses make a specific noise, whether it's paid, unpaid. If somebody taps a card that doesn't have enough money, it makes this sound versus that sound. So the officers are trained on that, which is part of the way that they know if somebody paid their fare or not. But it's usually pretty obvious if somebody doesn't touch anything or put any money in as they get on the bus. So yeah, we have been increasing our fare enforcement on the buses. We did find that they had done some research and there was a lot of fare evasion going on the bus. So we're working to curb that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate. Oh, Commissioner Ford.
I do have a question that has to do with the fare evasion in the metro system, people hopping over or doing whatever they do to evade the fare. Has that been lessening?
So there's definitely less of it. If there is an officer present, it definitely goes way down. We're still out there and we're still, people are still doing it in front of us and we're still writing tickets for it. But we have seen a decrease. One of the other things that has decreased along with it is our instances of violent crime. We did a study a while back and found that while not all people that fare evade are violent criminals, we found that 98% of our violent criminals are fare evaders. So, you know, it's not to paint with a broad brush and say everybody that fare evades is a violent criminal, but through our fare evasion enforcement, when we do it at targeted locations where we're having an uptick in violent crime, we've seen that it goes down. So we're using it as a tool to decrease violent crime. And, you know, like I said before, this year we've seen it's, I don't know the exact number, but it's in the 200s of fewer violent crime victims than we've had in previous years. So.
Sounds good. I have one other question, and it has to do with our MPD police force as well as your police force, Lieutenant. What is the shortage of Metro police officers, would you say, at this point in time?
I don't have the number handy, but it's significant. We're definitely shorthanded.
Okay.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you being here tonight and taking the time to be here. And thanks again for your service.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Awesome. We'll now move forward with the Office of the Mayor's Ward 2 Mayor's Liaison. And I saw Adriana
Yes, I'm
on here.
here.
Hi there. How are you?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm going to have my camera off, just feeling a bit under the weather, but I do have two important updates. And of course, I will be putting my contact information in the chat box, so feel free to email me, to call me as well, or to send me a message. The first thing that I want to kind of just emphasize is that the mayor does not welcome the federal surge. I know there's been a lot of headlines. Maybe people are having mixed messaging coming their way, but the mayor does not welcome that. She is not very happy with that at the moment. We are looking forward to tomorrow, which is when the federal surge is supposed to end. But right now it's also kind of TBD. We're not sure what is exactly going to happen after tomorrow. For the federal surge to continue in DC, it needs to get approval from Congress. And so that is it's not going to happen most likely, but we will have more clarity after tomorrow. And of course, as we get more updates, I will be sure to send you all updates, especially I know this is a very important topic for everybody in the community in DC. So as soon as we have more updates of what, after tomorrow looks like, I'll be happy to share more information on that. That's one of the things. The second thing is that Ward 2 is going to have a roll cleanup day. So we are expected to have a Clean City Ward 2 roll-off day on Saturday, this coming 13th of September. It will start at 10 a.m. and it's at the Kennedy Recreation Center. So if you have anything that you want to get rid of, any furniture, anything that you kind of just want to kind of do a deep clean, feel free to come to that center and drop it off. I will be providing exact details as well until when we will be there. I believe we will be there for about 2 hours, but please feel free to come, tell your families, your friends that live in Ward 2. That will be the location. We usually try to do these quarterly, so this is the one for fall. And I will post my contact information and I answer any questions.
Terrific. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the mayor's office? Commissioner Lee.
Yeah. Hello, this is Thomas Lee, the Commissioner for 2C03. Earlier this evening, we had a concerned resident, Howard Marks, discuss his desire for a more permanent drug-free solution, especially in his neighborhood, around his building. Is this something that the mayor's office can look into? Because it occurs to me that, yes, there may be some constraints, but if we could find a more permanent solution to this ongoing problem, we could have avoided, incurring the president's wrath, among other things. So this is something that, we should really spend a lot more effort into addressing.
Absolutely. That's a really great point. We're going to be working with with MPD to kind of address this issue and strategically think. This has been in our radar, especially we've seen that this is high in usually the metro stations. And so we'll connect with them and see what we can do and maybe provide any updates in our next meeting of what that brainstorming looks like. Thank you for reemphasizing that.
Thank you so much, Adriana. We appreciate you being here, and please feel better.
Thank you. I will put my contact information in the chat as well.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll move forward with the Office of Ward 2, Councilmember Brooke Pinto's office. Oh, I'm sorry. Adriana, are you still there? I'm sorry, I missed your hand.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, you're still here. Okay, gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha. We have a question in the room. I'm sorry, I missed the hand.
No worries.
Hi. I just want to express my incredible disapproval of Mayor Bowser's leadership during this Trump military occupation. I'm saying this as I'm a FEMA employee, and I was just put on administrative leave for signing a letter of dissent against the Trump administration's dangerous and reckless mismanagement of FEMA. I risked my career to stand up against the Trump administration, and what has Bowser done? I don't see anything. I see from day one just folding over and over and over again, tearing down Black Lives Matter Plaza, having MPD cooperate with ICE, like complementing this military occupation with like reducing crime when that's like really hard to actually prove in such a short amount of time. It's so frightening and disappointing to live in a city where the mayor is not going to fight for her people. And it is, I don't know, it makes me angry that I feel like I have done more to fight against Trump than Mayor Bowser. That is just insane. I'm just like some random statistician. This is just so dumb. Like if there's a recall election for Bowser, I'm knocking doors against her. Next time she's challenging an election, I'm knocking doors for her strongest challenger. 30 years from now, she's running for like chair for condo board, I'm finding that condo and knocking doors against her. Like this is insane. Like she'll be down in the history books with the likes of Neville Chamberlain. Like you can't just keep giving Trump more and more and more and you're not getting anything. Like what are we getting? It is just, oh my, thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you for your comments. I've taken note of this and I will be passing this along to leadership. There's many comments similar to this, so I appreciate you advocating for yourself and letting me know.
We will move forward with the Office of Ward 2, Councilmember Brooke Pinto's. And I saw Brian has been on with us.
Hey, good to be with you all. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. Well, first I want to start by introducing another member of my team, Dia Mehta. You should be able to see her on here as well. She's new to the team, and she will likely be giving some of the updates at ANC 2C meetings in the future. So if you don't see me, you'll be seeing her. So I'll still give the update tonight, but just wanted to introduce her. So I know, and you've been talking about it all meeting, the continued federal actions around DC are causing a lot of anxiety and fear for a lot of residents. Councilmember Pinto has been very clear that militarizing our streets is not the right solution and is not a sustainable solution to the challenges that we face. As you all know from all of our previous meetings, Councilmember Pinto's top priority has been and continues to be improving public safety for all residents and visitors. From her Secure DC legislation to Peace DC legislation, we have seen violent crime rates fall to the lowest rates in 30 years. We know there's obviously a lot more work to be done as we hear our MPD updates at the start of every meeting. But that work should be done primarily by our local police department with reasonable partnerships with our federal agencies. They, of course, do have a role to play, and Congress can do certain things like confirming our judges to fill our vacancies on our courts or passing a budget fix to allow us to spend our own $1 billion that they stopped us from spending on police and firefighters. And on that item, I actually just had an update from about an hour ago. There was news that the White House has included allowing DC to spend the rest of the fiscal year 25 allocated funds in their continuing resolution that they have proposed, that they want Congress to vote on by September 30th. So that is hopefully good news. Congress is out the week of September 22nd, so they are running out of time to do this. And of course, this is one of those continuing resolution, keeping the government open fights that we're also used to here. But we're expecting a vote on September 29th or 30th on that proposal, that continuing resolution to keep the government open. I think it would be through the end of this calendar year or maybe January. The current federal action, though, is eroding public trust in our law enforcement officials, as you can hear from folks at this meeting. It's also hurting our local businesses and tourism, with reservations and sales down at a time when our economy is already hurting from the DOJ firings and a lot of the unemployment that has been brought on by this administration. The language that the executive order authorized, again, does end tomorrow. But as a reminder, and I think you've already discussed it a little bit, the National Guard can stay deployed as long as the president wants them to. That is a power that the president has, unfortunately. Congresswoman Holmes Norton has always introduced and reintroduced a bill to give the mayor control of the National Guard in DC, but that has not passed Congress, and we do not expect it to pass through this Congress. So again, I think the president has extended the National Guard's time here until November 30th. So again, the police coordination piece in theory ends tomorrow. But of course, many of the agencies don't really need permission to act in DC. So ICE, for example, continue to do a lot of their actions in DC, even without support from our police department. We're continuing to monitor everything. We want to make sure that every DC resident is safe. Again, that's supposedly the goal of this. So just know that this does not change individuals' rights. All DC existing laws are still in effect, and constitutional rights still apply. I posted a link in the chat to the ACLU DC's page on what to do if you are arrested or if you see someone being arrested, which I think has been helpful throughout this time and going forward. And Councilmember Pinto will continue to advocate for public safety improvements that respect home rule, and she'll continue to do that with members of Congress and with the national press, as she's been doing since this began. If you haven't, I don't really watch TV news anymore, but she's been on just about every channel you can think of, advocating for DC. Yesterday, the full council sent a letter to Congress opposing 13 proposed measures that the House is actually considering tomorrow with the Oversight Committee that Congressman Comer chairs. So they are considering, like I said, I think 14 different measures. One we're okay with. One is to allow us to transmit our legislation electronically to Congress instead of via paper, which is what happens right now. And that was something that was a problem during the pandemic. It was a problem during the insurrection. So that's one that we're like, yeah, please, let's pass that. The other 13 we're very against. I won't go through all of them, but one of them removes our local elected attorney general and replaces it with an appointed attorney general that the president could appoint. As you all know, the president already appoints our U.S. attorney, and there are some issues with that. So this is not something that we would want to see. Another thing that we do not support is allowing juveniles that are 14 years old to be tried as adults. Right now it can be 16, but this would change it to a lower age. So there are just a lot of things like that, and then repealing certain DC laws that have already been in effect that we do support. So I posted a link to the letter in the chat as well. The House, like I said, is taking up that legislation tomorrow. So we should know a little bit more tomorrow about if it passes. I can tell you that we do think it will pass the House, but we don't think it will pass the Senate. So a lot of times residents will say to me, what should we do? Who should we advocate to? You are always welcome to advocate to members of the House. But I would say also advocating to moderate members of the Senate is helpful to ensure that they are, putting an end to that legislation. Just a few other updates. The council's next legislative meeting is next Wednesday, the 17th. So they're back from recess on Monday. They can start legislating again. They took a pause in the summer from legislation only. They'll be taking their second and final vote on the deal to bring the Commanders to RFK Stadium. That does include 6,000 new units of housing, a third of which will be affordable, the new youth sportsplex, sales tax and parking revenue for DC, job opportunities for justice-involved residents, and the fields at RFK will stay open to DC residents throughout the construction. Now that the new school year has started, cell phone use is no longer permitted in classrooms, thanks to Councilmember Pinto's heads up distraction-free learning bill that's became law. So we've been happy to see that. There's been some really good news articles or videos of students and teachers being interviewed. The students, some of them say they didn't like it at first, but then there's videos of the teachers saying that it's been so much easier to teach and to not have to police the classroom anymore for cell phone use, and that students hopefully are interacting more with each other in person and not getting distracted by their phones during the day. So hopefully the school year is off to a good start for everybody. I'll stop there. I'm happy to take questions and feedback.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you being here. And Daya, welcome to the team. We look forward to working with you as well. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Councilmember Pinto's office? Commissioner Lee.
Hey, Brian, it's Thomas here. Just to reiterate my desire for Councilwoman Pinto to work with the mayor's office and see what we can do to make the drug-free zone in Chinatown more permanent.
Definitely, yeah. I'll talk to Councilmember Pinto about the drug-free zones. So I think that I thought that they were 5 days because it was a resource issue. So the commander talked about how we're down a certain amount of officers. So in my mind, a drug-free zone is really a surge in police resources to that area for that 5-day period. I know it's a little bit different for like a drug-free zone around a school, for example. So I think I'll talk to the council member to see like why that can't be in effect around the Capital One Arena. That kind of sounds like a good model to me, that it's just a heightened penalty if somebody is caught, doing something involving just sales of drugs, most likely in the area. So yeah, I'll definitely talk to her about it. I'm not sure, but it is 5 days in the legislation.
Great. Thank you very much. We have one hand online, and that's Joy Whalen.
Yes, thank you. I'm mindful of the time, and so I promise a very quick question. I'm just wondering, I've been disappointed to see that the council member doesn't appear to be speaking out publicly and at as many events, talking about the increased law enforcement presence in DC and how that is bad for her constituents. I'm curious what the best way to notify her of things that are going on related to the emergency is, and how we can get her to speak out more publicly.
Sure. Well, thanks, Joy, and I appreciate your advocacy. I'm assuming you're talking about like at events like in person around DC, like rallies and that sort of thing. So you can always email me. I put my email address in the chat if you know of any events that are coming up, and I can talk to her scheduler to try to see if she can join the events. She's definitely been speaking out, like I said, on CNN, MSNBC, ABC News, all of our local news channels. So she's definitely been on there. You can check her Twitter account, but I know we can always do more, and especially appear at events around DC, like you said. So happy to try to get her to those.
Awesome, thank you.
Commissioner Groth. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, gotcha. I think that there are no more questions at this point. But I'm sorry. One more for Brian. I'm sorry. Coming up to the mic.
Hi, Brian, and thanks so much for sharing links to the ACLU and talking about your plans in relationship to the occupation. One thing, since you mentioned the second and final vote about the Commanders Stadium, saw a news article about the DC Council thinking about waiving $1 million in fines for trees being cut down, the heritage trees that would ordinarily have a bunch of fines. And of course, the Commanders is a big NFL organization that could pay those fines. So can you give us any more updates about what the thought process is there and what that looks like with the upcoming vote?
Yes, thank you. So the tree issue has definitely come up in recent weeks. And like I said, the vote is next Wednesday. I am pretty sure that one of the council members is introducing an amendment about this to not waive that $1 million. Unfortunately, I think where the trees are located means they're going to have to be cut down, for the stadium to be built. So I don't think there's much hope in saving them. I'm sure they've looked around or at least I hope that they've looked around and thought about, can any of these trees remain? But if they do have to be removed for the stadium, I know that the council is considering changing that as part of the final vote with an amendment next week.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions we have. And I did want to thank Councilmember Pinto for all her news outlets that she's been on and her advocacy and that public display of support for DC. So thank you.
Of course, and thank you, commissioners. I know you guys are the unpaid home rule champions, so thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move forward then with downtown DC bid. And I saw Eloise was on a minute ago.
Hi everyone. How are you?
Very good. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. We have a lot going on in the bid.
Just a little bit.
Let me try and share this update my screen with you all.
Yes. You
wait a minute. I don't think that's what I got it. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second here. Okay, so I'm going to go through the presentation that we have for the bid. Going through our updates for the clean and safe data for the month of August. As you can see to the left, I'm sorry, to the far right of the bags of retrieval. The bid has started. We've started a new pilot, which was with our SAM ambassadors to ensure that we help with the partnership of the Department of Health in trying to rid ourselves of the rodents, where we're doing a finalization of sweeping and wiping down the bins, the trash and recycling bins, as well as emptying every bag, and then going behind pressure washing in the early AM. So if you could see, hopefully within the next month or so coming on, you guys would see like less rodents throughout the area. That's a long-term goal of ours to continue to rid ourselves of rodents. And you can see the stickers and posters, graffiti removal. We've also down numbers. Our team has been rapidly and diligently working through and trying to remove those things throughout our bid boundaries. You can see here the amount of hours, 728 hours put into our daily personnel cleaning on the total and throughout the Chinatown corridor of Penn quarters. Want to move to our activities and functions of operations throughout at Anthems Road, where we've been activating this location since June. I'm not sure if any one of you have had the opportunity to come out and participate or at any of the events. So we have a list of things going out, different events to activate that space, and to also, what the goal is to actually help businesses also and people to know the businesses that's within our bid and to patronize them. Want to move to our Thursday night out, next upcoming event, which is this Thursday, and activities for bringing more people out in the music life in the place of the market, to just give a little detail about the gift cards and gifts that we've ran this pilot out to help introduce more of the businesses throughout the bid, where people who come out can actually win gift cards. And these things are partnering with the businesses, where the bid is partnering also to give the cards, and they would be able to spend the money at specific locations of restaurants throughout Chinatown corridor. I just want to touch bases also on the public art use as for the beautification tool. You can see that at Chinatown, where it was once boarded up, where you see this mural here, we actually used that space to activate it, and there'll be more like activities and things going on in that space as well. But again, the clean look is we remove all the boards and plywood that was plastered there and put the wrought iron fence. And then you can see the Wizards, where we work with artists in DC to complement the Wizards and the Capital One Arena here. So lastly, I want to kind of touch bases on our safety team, the update in our Chinatown task force. We're going on 16 months now, and the bid for this grant is over 800 businesses that have checked in. And then we built like a really strong relationship in checking to find out any issues, concerns, any problems that they've had, whether it's with unhoused or theft throughout these areas of the Chinatown corridor, and report those things back to police department so that we could ensure that the people are feeling safe throughout their businesses. I'm going to go through and just wanted to know if any of you had any questions referencing.
Yes, we have a question from Commissioner Groth.
Hi, Eloise, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Great to see you.
Same
I
to
sent
you.
an email over the weekend and I don't remember if I included you with Lucas, and I also included folk from Golden Triangle. A constituent stopped me on the sidewalk and asked, what are the bids, protocols or policies? What is a sticker or graffiti, and what is a free speech piece of material applied with wheat paste? So the question was specifically about wheat pasting of flyers for events and political free speech. And yes, the constituent had a brush in their hand at the time that they asked.
We well, actually, as you know, most of these things are private property or government property, so they should not be pasting anything on any of the property, and it's considered as litter. I had just went through a listing where we are now partnering with DC government to get a type of base where we do not, well, all the items won't stick because it costs us hundreds of dollars per month. As you can see with in one of the slides, it shows you how many stickers that our bid is removing per month, and that's manpower hours along with material and solutions. So it's costly. We prefer if it's a business and they want to get something out that they maybe just contact Downtown Bid and we can help publicize it through our social media.
I believe the specific use of wheat paste is to make it temporary and easier to remove without a lot of chemicals. I've never done that myself.
Right, but what I'm saying is to place any items is what is not welcomed. But
okay, so there's no distinction in your protocols between free speech items and other random objects or graffiti?
No, again, they just prefer that they not post anything. And we're told to, with an agreement with DC government, is just to have it removed.
So anything that is private property that they don't have dominion over, or public property like a light pole or a power box, or
right, they asked not to put it there.
Ask-
The only item that DC government is allowing to be placed up throughout on the electric box or light pole based or pole is if you would have a permit for a parking pass or something. And that has an expiration date, which our team would know to remove it at a certain time. If the person
you reserved a no parking for like a moving truck or something.
yes, or an event or something like that.
Yeah, okay. So, okay.
But
Thank you.
again, if they have information that is, you could check with, or should I say, we refer them to, or prefer that they contact our social media. And that director over that department for Downtown DC Bid is Ebony Walton, and her email address is ebony@downtowndc.org.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Thank
you.
Eloise, I just wanted to ask you about the tree boxes around the MLK library. Is the bid responsible for them?
We're not, but again, another partnership, we've been meeting with MLK, going through a lot of concerns and issues that they've brought in a lot, particularly to unhoused. So now the bid is, in order to help beautify the tree boxes, partnering as in pressure washing, because there is a rodent infestation problem where we see that they've barreled into those tree bases for the boxes.
yes.
And the process is like you don't want to plant there because the rodents are still there. So we're working with the Department of Health to treat those boxes and then seal those areas so that they can be planted in.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Commissioners, any other questions? Any questions in the room? All right. Thank you so much, Eloise. We appreciate you being here. We're running a few minutes behind. I will go into neighborhood collaborations and follow-up. First of all, I wanted to provide an update related to a discussion that we had at our August ANC meeting. I have regarding the establishment of a business retail residence network in Penn Quarter. I have not been able to contact the president or the executive director of the former Penn Quarter Neighborhood Association, but I am hopeful that I will be able to make that connection with her so that we can figure out where the organization currently stands as an organization in the district. I have no other updates at this point for anything related to that. Okay. And we'll move forward with the Chinatown revitalization effort. And we had an introduction by Commissioner Groth.
Yes, but at the last meeting, Commissioner Swart drafted a letter which he has sent through us a couple of times. And I suggested that we formally adopt that to formally designate him as the liaison and point of contact, just as a matter of public record. So I will so move. I have a clarifying question, but I will so move to bless the letter and the liaison designation.
I'll be happy to second that. And all those in favor? So four commissioners voting in favor of that.
And I'll be happy to accept the blessing.
Fabulous. Awesome.
I just have a clarifying question. Obviously, you'll be the liaison to the specific revitalization initiative. But there are a variety of other Chinatown legacy restoration and a lot of other cultural issues related to Chinatown that I don't know if you're also taking those on or not. Should we refer folk to you? Save Chinatown Solidarity Network. I would hope that the residents of Wall Luck House, 300 of them, would have the same representation and standing as the 300 residents of the residences at Gallery Place, for example.
Well, the Chinatown Renewal Initiative is what this is. And as you know, there have been any number of Chinatown projects and programs for over the last 20 years, some of which have been successful, others have faltered. But the two individuals who have been designated as the leaders of that are really people. And their intention is to talk with people, find out what the people are wanting in Chinatown, going around and doing evaluations. And Tim Ma, who is a exquisite chef, and Winston Lord, who has a lot of credibility in terms of getting deeply involved in neighborhoods and helping decision-making for that. He was one of the people who put together the Nationals ballpark area and did all of that. So they know what they're doing, and their goal is to get with the people and find out what the people want. So I did finally get their address. Got that from the deputy mayor's office, and had a pleasurable conversation with Winston Lord. And I think they're well on their way to making something happen nicely and involving the people in Chinatown with that.
Terrific. And please do keep us updated. And if there's things that happen after hours, I would be happy to, after business hours, I'd be happy to attend as well. So
if I might say too, depending upon their schedules, I've let them know that the second Tuesday of every month is our ANC meeting, and that they're welcome to join us, provide a briefing, letting us know officially what they're all about and how they're set up and what they intend to do. So I'll try to get them for the next meeting.
okay, that's great. Thank you very much for that.
Thompson? Shall we move?
Thompson Elementary School is next on our agenda. This was an added item.
This is an added item. The four of us got an email yesterday from Hannah Putman, who I believe is, she may be the parent head of the PTO at Thompson Elementary. There's a bunch of other people that are parents in the Thompson. They're just thanking us for coming out for the first day of school. That was me and 6 or 7 constituents turned out for it, which was a lot of fun. Janice Farabee came from 2F, and there's a couple of other long-term volunteers that volunteer at that school that were there. So we had quite a contingent on the sidewalk, and the families really seemed to several of my neighbors in my building. So yes, I brought a posse of rollators, which is always fun. So they're asking for a follow-up meeting with us. They said they'd love to set up a call with the ANC. So I don't know quite what they mean, whether they really need all 4 of us, or how would we like to relate to them other than providing funding and whatever. I would like to see more of a relationship, just so that we can connect them to volunteers or other resources in the community. As if we didn't have other things that we're also already doing, where do we head with this?
We can.
I think it's a wonderful idea to have contact with the schools, the public schools in our ANC. And we have 3 of them, only one, a real public elementary school or public school where the kids are in the neighborhood and they walk here. But we have a wonderful school quite nearby, the Girls Academy, which is on 8th, just a block and a half away from the metro. And it's not a private school, it's a public school, and the young people come from all across the city.
It's a charter, yes.
Yes.
A charter public school.
It is a charter public school. The kids there do not pay. It's part of the public school system. And it's an amazing place, really, as is the one, in Penn Quarter. So maybe we could do some outreach to all the schools that we have.
I think we should set up a virtual meeting with the PTO, with the president or whoever she or he deems should be involved. And
they're asking for like weekday evenings around 8 p.m.
Sure.
So I don't mind being the point of contact. I'm physically the closest to them, and have 15 years of life experience I'm now a recovering PTA mom. So for life, that's a lifetime identity. So it's definitely in my wheelhouse. I was the only one of us there last May for their capstone event, which was really very lovely and a great privilege to be with the kids for that. So.
Great. Yeah, I would say, please, let's set something up with that.
Okay. She said that she'd be happy to send a doodle.
Sure.
To see. Okay, so I will answer her then, and I will kind of write her on this.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Good, thanks.
Do you want to give us an update on the Senior Wellness Center Task Force in Ward 2 and 3?
Yes, I've not been talking about this, but I jumped onto this task force last March, partly because Councilmember Pinto's office was floating the idea of the building that the city bought in my block in the alley, originally intended to be a low barrier men's homeless shelter, that maybe it could be repurposed as this Ward 2 Senior Wellness Center instead. Which also concerned me because all of the same issues with the property and the location. There's no sidewalk, there's no pedestrian access. You cannot get a fire truck to it. It's probably a contaminated property from 70 years of holding printing presses, et cetera, that I did not think it was appropriate for a senior wellness center either. So I sort of jumped into this to kind of keep an eye on that as a site issue. But because I live in a seniors building myself, I actually know quite a lot about seniors programming and all of that. So since March, I've been quite concerned that Ward 2 has been, I can tactfully say, underrepresented, and Ward 3 has its own point of view. Some of you may know of the senior village movement. The villages are nonprofit community organizations that originally were intended to keep people in their homes with volunteers to assist them. And it's sort of morphed into more than that. And there's a lot less stigma about people moving into a facility like my building. But they provide a lot of services in certain neighborhoods. There are many villages throughout Ward 3. Ward 3 also has the Iona Senior Services. Frankly, they have longer standing churches with more resources that provide programs. In Ward 2, there's a village in Georgetown, in Foggy Bottom, and in DuPont. And there's nothing in the east side of Ward 2. So since March, I've been saying, what about Shaw? Basically. Shaw has 8 or 10 sizable, very low income, either city run or nonprofit run senior residential buildings. So it's a concentration of people without a village movement, and the DuPont Village tries its best to support those folk. But so the task force had one in-person town hall in July, and they held it at the Cleveland Park Library, where Ward 3 outnumbered Ward 2 10-1. It would have been 20-1, except that the DuPont Village president brought 5 people with her. For a variety of reasons, my hair was on fire, and I said, okay, this is not acceptable. You're going to have to do another town hall in Ward 2. Oh no, it's too late. Blah, blah, blah. This is a long 2-year process. You jumped in at the end of this. And I pressed really quite hard. And they had done no outreach with any of the ANCs. So I'm looking up on my phone, neither 2F and Logan nor 2G and Shaw met in August, as many commissions don't meet in August. So I said, okay, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have another town hall, and you're going to have to put it after those two commission meetings, because I personally am going to do the outreach. You're welcome to join me. So I was at the Logan 2F last week, and 2Gs is Thursday night. I will be there also. I've been interacting with commissioners from both commissions. So the town hall is the 16th, which is next week. It's going to be at New Bethel Baptist Church in Shaw. And Howard Garrett is the commissioner for that district, which includes a number of these seniors buildings also. So they're excited and energized. They didn't even know any of this was happening. So basically, anybody that wants to go to that town hall, not that I'm competitive or anything, but I think Ward 3 could use a few pegs down the notch. The task force officially goes out of existence the end of September. They've had a urban planning architect-y firm as their contractor, and their final report will be out. But they'll be previewing that report at the town hall. They've come up with a list of potential sites in both Ward 2 and 3. I did the tour on Friday of the Ward 3 sites. I was already familiar with the Ward 2 sites. The top one listed for Ward 2 is in Shaw. It's a block away from the Shaw-Howard Metro Station on Wiltberger, where the new GLBTQ community center is. It's actually the floor above it. And I got a tour of the new GLBTQ community center, which is amazing. If they did the same footprint one floor up, it would be, there are just so many reasons that there would be good synergy there. And so that's my commitment to land this for Ward 2 in Shaw, where it's needed. So.
Awesome. Do you need any action from us?
No, it just occurred to me that I have just kind of been doing this sort of on the side, and it's not in 2C or directly impacting 2C necessarily, but it is on behalf of the ward.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for reporting on it, and thank you for giving us an update. We appreciate you doing that. And please, can you send us the details?
Yes, I will send certainly the four of us the details on the event on the 16th.
And that's of course open to the public. So
yes, very much so.
Anybody can reach out.
There's a flyer, DACL, the Department of Aging and Community Living has a flyer about it. And so I'll send the flyer out so you can pump it out to your constituent lists and
great.
Anybody interested.
Awesome. Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Awesome. Any other questions for Commissioner Bra? Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to move forward with, I'm sorry, I missed the APCA heading here, but this is Alcohol, Beverage, and Cannabis Administration. We have first up Le Midi restaurant, which is a retailer's Class C restaurant, going in at 1100 New York Ave Northwest. This is ABRA number 133012. And I saw Matt was on with us. Lenora? Oh, I lost him. Huh? Oh, there he's on. Matt, I think we can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. I wasn't sure. For some reason, the camera's not working, so I apologize. I wasn't sure if the audio was working either, but at least we have half the battle.
Yes. We have voice. That's good.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction, Commissioner. Like I said, my name is Matthew Minora from the law firm Mallory O'Brien and Sandground, and we're here to present on behalf of New York Avenue Dining, trading as Le Midi, an application for a new retailer's Class C restaurant at 1100 New York Avenue Northwest. That is the Capital City Brewing Company location, so it's really more at 11th and H. The owner, Hakan Alan, is on as well. I'm not sure if you want to elevate him as well, but if he can chime in for specific questions after I get through the spiel about the application itself. This will be his, I believe, 8th restaurant in DC. Some of the others include Al Dente, Ottoman Taverna, Brasserie Liberté, and Alara in Georgetown. This restaurant will also be a full-service brasserie-style French restaurant serving traditional fare in a relaxed but upscale setting. The petition deadline date is September 15th, and we are seeking interior capacity of 300 seats with a total occupancy load, that's sitting and standing, for 350. The hours requested for the interior are 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. weekdays and 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. on the weekends. We're requesting an entertainment endorsement for the interior only, ending a half hour before the hours of operations. And the Sidewalk Cafe endorsement will have a maximum of 65 people. And the hours we're seeking for that are 7 a.m. to midnight during the week and 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. on the weekends. We're also seeking an alcohol carryout and delivery endorsement as well, and the holiday extension of hours. On that note, if there's any questions, I will be happy to address them. If there's any particulars about the operations and the menu, Hakan can handle that a little bit more than I can.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Yeah, what's the menu?
It's going to be French, traditional French fare, similar to some of the other restaurants. The particulars, I believe, I actually uploaded in the package that I gave you. Give me just a moment. Where is it? Yeah, so it'll be similar to what he has at Brasserie Liberté in Georgetown, but maybe a bit more relaxed.
It's great. Very exciting. Commissioners, you have any?
I do have a question or
Sure,
comment.
please.
You're going to be not at all on New York Avenue, is that correct?
Correct. It's part of that large building. Almost, I think the entire city block is actually called 1100 New York Avenue, but we're on the
It is.
southwest side, southeast side, where the Capital City Brewing Company is. It's really the corner of 11th and H.
Right, and their entry is at on H Street. Will your entry again be on H Street?
Yes, it'll be the same. Let me just pull up that rendering just to make certain. Yes, the main entrance will be along H Street, but the Sidewalk Cafe itself will be on 11th Street.
And the Sidewalk Cafe, as I understand from the drawing, right now they're on 11th Street. There's a bike lane or something like that in the road. And then you're going to have tables at the road area and
no, not in the road, up against the side of the restaurant on 11th Street.
okay. And where will the sidewalk be for pedestrians?
It'll be the space from the couple of two tops we have to the remaining curb area. There really aren't any obstructions, I believe, that are in there. So we should have several feet of unobstructed pedestrian pathway.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to actually prepare and file the DDOT application for the Sidewalk Cafe, and that'll actually really regulate the final capacity and shape of the Sidewalk Cafe footprint.
Yeah. And will there be any music or entertainment indoors?
Correct, indoors only. There'll be no music or no live music or entertainment on the outside at all.
Okay. But 3 a.m. closure, is that will that be typical on weekends?
So that's the hours we put in the ABC license application for flexibility, because when they say close, it means every single patron out of the restaurant. So we chose hours similar to those in and around the area. Whether or not, the actually establishment avails itself to those hours really depends on, the market itself. Obviously, you don't want to keep a fully staffed restaurant open until 3 in the morning if, the crowd dies down at 11 p.m. So you really just want to do that to have the flexibility now, so that if we were to put down, midnight today on the ABC license application, and it turns out, downtown's getting busier, things are getting crazier, and there's after games or what have you, people want to stay till 1, we'd have to go back through this whole process again. So it's easier to apply for more leeway and then rarely use it, rather than to go a little short and then have to go back to the ABC again and go through this process again, several months or, a year later.
Okay, well, that's very understandable. And French cuisine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all.
Awesome. I move that we send a letter of support for Lamida for Abra 133012. Seconded by Commissioner Lee. All those in favor? So four commissioners voting in favor of that. We shall get a letter of support off.
Thank you very much, commissioners. Appreciate the support.
You do not need a stipulated license, is that correct?
That is correct. No, we're not open for quite a while yet. Certainly after the petition deadline's done. So, but we appreciate the thought.
Thank you.
Should we do his
Thank
other one?
We'll
come back to him.
Oh yeah, Matt, you have another one on here. Oh, were you doing this one?
Was it taken off?
This is for Kiyomi.
The Uchino.
So good.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump into that one now, but if you want to go in the order on the agenda, that's fine as well. I don't want to, cut anybody off.
Could we just jump in there and have you do that since you're on with us?
Sure. So this is similarly another ABC license application for a Class C tavern license that we filed on behalf of Soga Genji Hospitality, trading as Kiyomi by Masake Uchino at 1895 L Street Northwest. Or at least there was operation there, Poke DC location. The placards went up August 8th, and the petition deadline date is Monday, September 22nd. Our application includes endorsement requests for a sidewalk cafe and alcohol carryout and delivery endorsements. Currently, you might already know there is a location for Kiyomi where the chef Uchino operates in the Square Food Hall at 1850 K Street Northwest, but because of his popularity, he's jumping into a brick and mortar location on its own, and that's why we decided to file this application for this location. The capacity we're looking for is going to be, why is this not working now? My apologies, here we go. Yeah, sorry. The capacity we're looking for is an indoor seating of just 20, for a total occupancy load of 30, that's seating and standing. And the sidewalk cafe will have an occupancy load of 20 with 15 seats. The hours we're seeking for everything are 11 a.m. to midnight daily. And there's no entertainment endorsement in this application.
And you do have an alcohol carryout, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, got it. Okay. This is your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, this is in the Wild West of 2C02. I loved Poke DC, so I'm sorry to have seen it go. But I'm a little curious how you're going to get an indoor seating capacity of 20. It's a pretty small space in there. I guess without the big Poke counter, you gain a lot of floor space, but.
Which is, it's the maximum is 20. It may end up being less, but we always want to go a little bit beyond what we can think, just in case the seating is, arranged around, or they use benches instead of chairs, so you can get more occupancy. For the same reasons why you apply for a bit more hours than you need, because it's no issue if you go under what you're approved for, but if you go over what you're approved for, then you have to go back to the ABC board again.
Yeah. So the sidewalk cafe, do you anticipate that being open for lunch as well as dinner, or?
That's the plan, yes.
Okay, excellent. I'm excited for this. I've been at the one in the food hall, which is not really a food hall. It's a lot more elegant than that, but it's everything in there is amazing. So welcome to the neighborhood.
Okay, we'll look forward to seeing you at this location. And to be clear, there is another sushi concept called Uchi coming into the area, totally separate, just similar last names.
Yes.
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 Yeah, it's just a couple blocks away. So
I move that we send a letter of support for this establishment for ABRA 132643. Seconded by Commissioner Croft. All those in favor? So four commissioners voting in favor of that. So we will get that off as well.
Thank you very much, commissioners. We appreciate the support as always.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. We'll jump back to one more on our agenda. This is the Continent DC LLC. It's a retailer's Class C restaurant at 1110 Vermont Avenue Northwest. This is ABRA 128-704. Do we have Mr. Jackson on with us?
701, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, 701.
Oh, yeah, 128-701. I apologize.
For the record.
Thank you. Anybody representing the establishment tonight?
This is also my SMD. I'm a little concerned about live entertainment. There's a office to residential conversion that's almost finished. That's on the 15th Street side of the block that will back on to this establishment. So even with live entertainment inside the premises, they don't seem to be hugely busy as a restaurant. I hope that they continue to grow their customer base. But I'd like to ask questions about potential noise with the residents that's going to be open quite soon.
So this is a Class C restaurant. So it is they are changing to a Class C tavern.
Yes.
Got it.
They have an outdoor sidewalk cafe, which is when it's occupied, is actually fairly noisy. Just by the vibe of the place. I mean, it's very elegant and gorgeous. But I'm just a little perplexed.
Well, one of two things can happen at this. The protest deadline is October 14th, which is our next meeting date, which is would be a challenge. If you wish to reach out to the establishment and trying to think which is the best approach for this.
Yeah, I don't want to file a needless protest, and
Yeah.
I want to see them succeed.
Yes.
Absolutely. They're struggling to grow their capacity to be up at the capacity they are already.
Right.
Maybe the live entertainment will make it more successful.
I am always concerned when I see a conversion from a Class C to a Class C restaurant to a tavern, simply because their sales ratio is now not dependent on food.
Yes.
Right. And that basically means it can be a bar that serves some snacks.
Yes.
In that situation. So we do have to be cautious of that. It might be wise to reach out to
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson and discuss the concern that you have about the new residences opening. But since there is not a protest or ability to protest at this point, like from a residential perspective,
Yes.
I think that we should we can do one of two things. We can go through with the endorsement of this, or we could remain silent as an ANC.
Is the conversion directly across the street?
No, it's on the other side of the block. Vermont is the diagonal between Thomas Circle and K Street. And it's on the block between between L and Thomas Circle. And the conversion is on 15th. The other, they'll be contiguous on the back side of the residential building.
So it's just directly.
It's behind I believe there's an alley. I know there's an east-west alley. I don't think there's a north-south alley. It's one of those triangle blocks because Vermont is on the diagonal. I'm concerned that the future residents of that building, it's a sizable building, it's 9 or 10 stories. So we're talking potentially a couple hundred people living above, potentially a bar.
It's not, but it's a different building, right? It's,
Yeah,
So,
it's a narrow skinny block though. It's not like it's it's similar to the Moxie and 1010 Mass Ave, for example.
oh, gotcha.
I don't want to,
This is totally interior, and if it is a separate building, there's really not a reason to protest it.
Yeah,
But we could remain silent and you could approach him and
Yes.
discuss the concerns. And if there is a need,
I believe the residential building will be rental and not condo, which also puts the residents at more vulnerability without a condo board to press their interest or or ask for a community agreement.
well, 5 or more residents
Yes, okay.
protest.
But the rental apartment buildings in my district, the leasing agents really don't want the residents to
Oh, of course not.
organize or
Yeah, right.
be,
Eh.
you know, have solidarity with each other. So
Right. I would say, I'd move that the ANC remain silent on this and allow Commissioner Groth to reach out to the applicant to discuss her concerns.
I second that.
yeah, I'm quite amenable to that
Okay.
and to
And if there,
broach it as being a good neighbor
yeah,
to their imminently future neighbors.
yes. And there's a second on the floor. All those in favor? So four commissioners voting in favor of that. If there is a challenge or concern that you have after that discussion, it is,
Particularly since their representative is not here tonight.
Yes.
That's,
the 14th is our next meeting, October 14th, but that does not prevent us from not filing the letter on the 14th.
yes.
Right.
we
Okay.
can file it that same evening.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So we're done with APCA. Let's move forward with Transportation Public Space. And this is for 620 I Street Northwest. This is a DDOC occupancy permit. And is Kevin on with us?
Yes, I am. Good evening, Michael and everybody.
Hey there, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. I'm gonna share the document if you
Great.
want me to do that.
Sure.
Sorry. Doot. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we are. I think you can see that.
Yep. So this is for our first occupancy permit, primarily for the demolition phase, for the I Street portion of our larger gallery project. Just to orient everybody, the first building is under construction now on 8th Street, so just south of the indicated property. And that is, so it abuts in the east-west alley, the 30-foot alley there. And then there's a north-south alley going up from 8th Street and then all the way through to I Street. So the I Street development includes the townhomes that you might be more familiar with, 608 through 624 I Street. 620 will be the new address. Demolition is slated to begin, we hope, in November. Overall, we're currently submitted for our building permit. So we're excited to get this phase going along with H Street. So this occupancy plan was submitted to DDOT. We got through the first cycle there and had a call with them to walk through their questions. And they are in support of the plan, but because it includes closing off the portion of the north-south alley between 624 and 620 requires ANC support, which brings us here today. So just real quick on the reasoning for that, aside from it being a very tight site with limited space, there's quite a bit of demolition on this with the non-historic portions of the townhomes. So a lot of them have rear additions. We're obviously preserving the historic structures, which has gone through HPRB approvals. But a fair amount of demolition, also including the 5-story warehouse in the rear. And along with that, a good bit of abatement work. So both from a public safety and just feasibility standpoint, it requires closing off that portion of the north-south alley and a portion of the sidewalk along I Street, but only the part that is included within the lines and the X's. So we're leaving I think it's 5 feet that DDOT required between that fence and the tree boxes to leave the sidewalk open, and then closing that curb lane that's hatched in there. So that's the plan. Welcome any questions or comments anyone might have.
2 questions. So I'm looking at this. Is the alleyway where the mouse is right now going up and down?
No, if you go a little bit to the left there with the hexagon hashing. So it basically right now it's a 15-foot alley that follows the exact path of the one from H Street.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It goes right,
And then goes north.
straight through.
It's only included wider because the portion that is essentially like 622 I Street, there's no building. That's a gravelled lot. So that's just showing that whole area.
Gotcha. I got it. That makes sense, because I was looking at this closed alley thing over here and I was like, what is this? Where's this at?
Oh yeah, that's just for the signage.
And what is this dash line that's going along here? Is this where the fence is going to go?
No, I think that's that's representing, if you look on the legend on the right, that's the 5-foot minimum wide pedestrian path.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The fence is the smaller black line with the X's.
Yes, got it. And this is just being opened up. This curb lane is being closed to expand the walkway?
No, that will be for staging, trucks or, construction vehicles that, would need to maybe wait there and then pull in to the alley. Because that's in the alley is probably where we'll have most of the dumpsters and trucks pulling in, where they'll be loading in, the hazardous materials and non-hazardous materials for haul off.
Got it.
And that right now is a parking lane. And actually a good portion of that isn't even parking, it's no parking signs. So I think the total, it's like 3 or 4 parking spaces that it takes up.
Got it. So you are just, from our perspective as an ANC, you are looking for permission to close this north-south alleyway during the construction?
Yes.
Limited. Okay, got it.
I have, once the demolition, my big question is, once the demolition is done, because we've been talking about this for a long time, and there was going to be a north-south dedicated pedestrian alley. Is this the area that will eventually be the pedestrian alley?
And that's exactly right. Yes. And actually
Aha.
we have a DDOT PDRM, coming up to review our full streetscape plan. So, this is just for the occupancy permit, but yes, that 15-foot alley, we're actually, adding 5 feet to it. So it'll be 20 feet wide
Yes.
and, closed to vehicular traffic.
I'm going to repeat my prior advocacy that the wall space in that dedicated pedestrian alley be made available to Chinatown, to Chinese artists for mural possibilities. There's funding from DEMPED apparently for murals. So this is not even, this is an access question, not even a funding question. So if there's some way to tie any of our gatekeeping permissions to making that happen for the muralists from the community, I want to do that.
No, absolutely. Point taken. We'll talk about that. I think there's certainly some opportunity to do that along the alley.
Commissioner Lee just mentioned drafting a resolution.
You want to just drop the resolution on the fly right now? You just gotten 95% of it out, so.
Is it
Yes,
necessary
but
to do that now?
I want to do it at every opportunity.
That's 30 seconds.
Well, Commissioner Lee, I would certainly defer to your contacts with this.
I do want to start it.
Well, are we tying it to the yes.
This is AJ. I'm with Kevin on the monument team. Hi, ANC. We've talked to you guys several times. I know you guys had talked to Josh Olson previously. I mean, we do have two entrances off of this alley, which are major egress to the two towers that are coming up in this area. And we have retail with a significant window line, as well as kind of this loading area that has kind of Chinese jade elements. And we've been working with Chinatown Steering Committee to make sure that the development is, meeting their needs and requirements from, creating a new development within Chinatown. Having said all that, we do have a community area kind of dedicated to the community, and we can certainly find ways to integrate this ask in kind of helping mold the possibilities and use in that community room. I think that is very achievable and something we're happy to look into. I just kind of want to make sure everyone's aware of this area went under extreme scrutiny from the HPRB, Housing Preservation Board, and we're thankful to the ANC for your help along the way and guidance through this process and support of the project. As you know, this is H Street and I Street, one of the few cranes going up in the city right now for new market rate residential construction. And there's I just don't want to be pigeonholed in a situation where there's really not much flexibility with what we do kind of between Chinatown Steering Committee and HPRB, but kind of orienting community efforts to the community room, which we are providing. And that's in the corner along the alley in the rear. Again, that is one of the buildings that is being preserved in the rear. So how to kind of shape, and I totally
So
get
you're talking about the interior of that community space or the exterior of that community space?
I'm saying using that interior of the community space to address some of your concerns, because the exterior is historic, and there was Steve Calcott and his team have been very involved in how that historic is intended to look.
As I understand it too, there is a Chinatown alleyway program, looking at all alleyways that they wish to develop throughout that area.
Yeah, and we're certainly working in tandem with how that will work and really trying to make this, activate an alley, which right now, Kevin talked about it. There's a crane back there. It's very much a construction site. So this TCP ask is certainly right. He mentioned it right on the nose from a public health and safety standpoint. Lots of activation if you guys have been back there, and then furthermore, it's kind of cleaning up an alley which just had tough times over the last several years since COVID. So we're addressing kind of further betterment of the community from that standpoint as well.
Yeah, I think what Commissioner Groth was referring to was just like public art or mural art after all the construction was completed. Are you saying that there's going to be a historic brick wall that's going to remain blank because it's historic?
So there's I think that's something as we, get through construction of new walls, we can certainly have discussions about. Most of the wall on the east side of the alley will be all the historic buildings that are remaining. So the portion on it's like the west elevation of 620, and then there will be an open courtyard between like the townhomes and new building, and then the existing former auto shop and carriage house that are historic. So we can look at our elevations and see what potential there might be for something in the future on a new portion of the wall.
Yeah, on that west side, although you're widening the alley, so presumably you're demolishing something and creating something 5 feet further over that would be a new face.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. The new wall will be on the west tower, so on the west side of the alley.
Right.
Okay.
Kevin, I don't know if you have the renderings available or if that would be able to pop up, but yeah, the West Tower, again, that is a historic building. So it's not, it's something that we would have to explore. It's not like we have to adhere to the historic requirements that we've run through.
I just want to go back to the purpose of this occupancy permit to DDOT. It is for the closure of this alleyway.
For construction purpose.
For construction purposes, for demolition purposes.
Right.
That is what the permit is for. And it's going to DDOT, which does nothing to do with
HPRB or any of the other
places. So, with that being said, I understand where you're going with the process. I think that with this request, we have to focus on the agency and the purpose of this, and that is to close this alleyway to allow for demolition of the buildings.
I will so move.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Broth. I will second that. All those in favor? So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. So we will, do you have a DDOT number, tracking number?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Okay. You could even email it to me afterwards if you like.
All right, I'll email it to you.
Yeah. So I can include that on the letter for that. That would be great.
Sure.
Awesome.
Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
And you guys are going to be coming back to us at some point with the design for HBRB, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've been through HBRB. We're actually, I think, accidentally on the agenda twice this evening. So
Yes.
you think you can remove the second one?
Yep, it's out.
All right, perfect. But yes, we will certainly continue to be in touch.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you so much.
it.
We'll see you next time.
All right, talk to you soon. Next on our agenda is 575 7th Street Northwest, and this is Terrell Place for a BZA application, and we have Lawrence Ferris on with us, I believe.
Good evening, Commissioners. Hopefully you can all hear me.
Yes, we can.
Good. Again, my name's Lawrence Ferris. I'm with the law firm of Goulston and Storrs. I'll go ahead and pull up our presentation while we get started. Also with me tonight, let me know, is everyone able to see our slides on the screen, hopefully?
There they have come up, yes.
Perfect. All right. Also with me tonight is Graham Megan from Gardner and Theobald. That's the project manager for this. They're managing this project on behalf of the applicant, which is Meta Platforms, Inc. Also with me, in addition to Graham, is Laura DeBonis from Ginsler. That's the project architect. So we are here tonight for a BZA application we filed. Again, this site is 575 7th Street Northwest. That's at the southeast corner of 7th and F Streets. You can see immediately to the south of Capital One Arena. Meta's doing some interior renovations on their office space in the building, and that's going to require some updates to the mechanical systems, including replacing one of the existing HVAC units on the roof. So that's what our application is about. We've asked for special exception relief from the screening requirements for the new HVAC unit. So essentially, because of the location of the mechanical unit and the setback from F Street, the unit's not visible from the street just based on the height of the building and where the unit's located. But the zoning regulations nonetheless require a setback here. So we're asking for relief from the screening requirement. Essentially, if you had screening here, it would require relief from the setback requirements just based on the height of the required screening and where it would have to be based on the clearance around that unit. And I can show you that in more detail in a second, but that's essentially our application in a nutshell. So I'll flip through our slides just very briefly since I know it's getting late. Here you see just, again, the general site location directly across from the arena right here. Here's the building. Here's the street view. Here's just a closer overhead view. You can see here in red, this is the location of the unit that we are asking relief for. So here's F Street, here's 7th. This is the outline of the building overall. So it's just this one unit over here on the far east side. Here's some street view.
That's an alleyway, isn't it? No, it's the little, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I see.
No, that's a good question. It's an interesting configuration. So
yeah,
I think this is what you were getting at is from the overhead, it looks a little bit like an alley. It's actually got this kind of bridge connector to the adjacent building. This is a separate building that shares the record lot. It's on a separate tax lot from this building, but is not part of our application here. So here you can see this kind of division between the two pieces. And the unit we're talking about is kind of tucked away way back here. And as you can see, the existing unit you can't see from the street today. The new unit's going to be the same height, and so you won't be able to see it either. Here again, just for reference, is the overhead view again, just to kind of orient you. So here's just a photo of the existing HVAC unit and kind of a dimensional outline of the rough approximation of the new unit. It's, like I said, it's going to be the same height as the existing unit. It's going to be a bit longer, but it'll still be very well set back in the same location from F Street. It's going to be in the same exact location as the current unit. So here is another plan view on the left, and then a section view on the right that shows kind of how it lays out on this portion of the roof that we're dealing with. Here in this red dash is essentially where the screening would be if it was required or if we weren't asking for relief. And as you can see, kind of based on the clearance that we have to provide around the HVAC unit where that screening needs to be and the minimum required height for that screening, it would encroach into the 1-to-1 setback requirement that applies here, which is this blue dashed line is showing where that 1-to-1 setback requirement is. That's a separate requirement for kind of roof structures under the zoning regulations. So instead of installing this screen and asking for relief from the setback requirement, because you can't see it from the street in any event, we're just asking for relief to not provide the screening. And then here, just lastly, is kind of an elevation. This is from F Street looking south. And again, just kind of shows you how tucked away across the entirety of the building, how tucked away this unit's going to be kind of behind this parapet wall here. So that's our application, our presentation. We're happy to answer any questions that you all have, but we appreciate you all sharing your time with us tonight.
Commissioners, do you have any questions? No. I don't either. I think, I'm sorry you had to come all the way to the ANC to get the permission to do this. But I move that we send a letter of support for this BZA application.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. Mr. Ferris, can you provide a template of that letter for us, and I will get that off for you. When do you go to hearing on this?
Yeah, our BZA hearing is not until November.
Oh,
But I
November.
can
Okay,
definitely
got
get you the template for you all to use.
Got it. That would be awesome.
Oh, well, thank you again for your time. I know you're all busy, so it's much appreciated.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you very much. Last on our agenda, do you have the updated copy of this? Do you have the version, the electronic version of it? Did you send the electronic version of it?
Of the resolution? Yeah, I sent a clean copy to everybody.
Yeah, I thought you did.
I did. Really, I did.
Just one second. We have our final item of business tonight is to approve to review a resolution condemning federal overreach in the District of Columbia policing and demanding the immediate return of local funds.
Actually, we have a different title on what we drafted,
Yes.
which was a resolution expressing disapproval of federal overreach in District of Columbia policing and demanding the absolute protection of DC home rule.
There we go.
Was the title that we landed on.
I'm sorry. Let me just grab it here. I'm sorry. Having this the clean copy. Here we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, this is a resolution that we attempted to do at our August 28th meeting, which we realized as we started this process that it was not something that could be achieved at that meeting. Oops, I don't think that opened correctly. No, that did not open correctly. Pardon me. Let me just do one more thing here. Why am I not seeing this folder? Let me try one more time. Oops. No. Share. Why don't I see the full screen? Oh, here it is. Got it. Sorry. Okay. Here is the resolution. I'd like to thank at the August 28th meeting, we asked two residents to also participate in that, which is Andrew and Howard, to help recraft this a little bit. So this resolution was recrafted and presented to the ANC. We're presenting it to the ANC tonight. Do you want to go through the process? Or do you want to discuss the resolution?
Well, I will move that we adopt the resolution as crafted in that in-person meeting on whatever date that was. It's all blur now.
September 2nd.
So yes, Tuesday, September 2nd, with four commissioners present and 2 community members present. So I move to adopt the resolution as extensively tweaked.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Strauss.
Do you want to read the whole thing?
Do we need to read it to? No, we do not need to read the resolution. But I can just quickly go through the processes, quickly go through the sections of it. This was, as we said, was really focused on the president putting National Guard and federal workers, federal law enforcement officers on the streets of DC due to what was described as an emergency. We outlined in this resolution clearly that there was some major issues with this, that it was not a crime emergency as it was described. We are concerned that the National Guard troops are here with the 500 federal law enforcement. And we also included that on August 22nd, the Secretary of Defense ordered that these troops then be armed with weapons. Oh, I'm scrolling. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was scrolling. So let's see what happened here. Is it this one? I apologize. Let's see if this one moves. Hey, there we go. So I was down, I'm sorry, don't know what happened there.
National Guard.
The National Guard, basically asking them to remove this, stop the overreach of these services. Additionally, we asked that the $1 billion in district funds be restored so that we can fund our police department properly, and that our home rule is in peril because of this. And there is a bill that is being considered.
14 of them now.
Yeah, 14 of them now, but one of them is called the Bowser Act, which is bringing oversight to Washington and safety to every resident, asking for the repeal of DC Home Rule and to restore congressional authority over the national capital. We therefore be it resolved that the ANC 2C disapproves of the federal overtake of the District of Columbia's Metropolitan Police Department and the deployment of federal directed police and National Guard units for purposes unrelated to an actual emergency. And be it further resolved that this commission urges Congress to pass legislation, including the DC National Guard Home Rule Act to eliminate federal control over local police and the strengthening of DC self-governments, to implore Congress to immediately restore access to the $1 billion in local funds to the district so that local leadership can ensure investments are prioritized to community needs, including safety, education, workforce development, healthcare, and other critical services that allow family and residents and neighborhoods to thrive, and supports legal challenges the district government advocacy organization and residents contesting that the statutory emergency threshold over Section 740 has been lawfully met, and expects full public transparency from MPD leadership about all persons who are deployed in the district regarding the mission, rules of engagement, officer identification ability, including masking in the absence of badges and numbers, arrest criteria, geographic scope, and anticipated anticipated duration of the federal control order, and rejects all efforts to reduce DC home rule and supports all efforts to retain DC home rule. Oof. Okay, so this is the resolution that was presented and passed around. It has been moved by Commissioner Groth to accept, seconded by Commissioner Strauss. Swart. I will get this right, Mr. Swart. It's been a long day. Any questions, commissioners, or concerns?
Who was the commissioner you named?
Strauss, our old commissioner. I'm sorry.
I just have one technical question. I had put in a distribution list of who we usually send resolutions to. This was originally sourced from the Home Rule Caucus of commissioners all across the city. There are 77 of us, I think, on the caucus. Right now, the similar resolutions have already passed in 19 commissions. There's another 12, including us, where it's on the agenda for the next meeting, generally this week. So that will be, that is over 30 out of the 46 commissions passing similar resolutions. I was on the Hill at the Senate yesterday all day. And that was, a lot of our leave behinds were resolutions that had already been passed by other commissions. I personally, because I'm a signer of a sign-on letter that 93 of us individual commissioners signed on 2 weeks ago, that was my leave behind because that's what I had in hand that I was a party to. So, so my question is, the Home Rule Caucus folk have an extensive list of Senate offices and House offices that they're asking us to send our resolutions to. Pretty much everybody else they had, there's a few tweaks of different liaisons from MPD and other things in addition to the MPD people I had listed. But so I would like to have sort of carte blanche to go ahead and distribute this as widely as we can on the Hill.
So first we have the motion on the floor to pass,
Adopt the resolution.
to adopt the resolution. So I would like a vote on that. So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that? Okay, got it. Oof. Thank goodness. And voting in favor of that.
Time coming.
And I would like to move that we appoint Commissioner Groth to represent this matter and to widely distribute the resolution? Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Commissioner Lee. And all those in favor? So 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. Okay. Awesome. Yes, sir.
I said, may I make a suggestion? And you said yes. We're liable. We may receive a lot of questions, comments, and those sorts of things. Should we as a group answer those types of things as the point of contact for this, Nancy? It could be overwhelming in some ways.
Yes, and certainly
I'm here to support.
I appreciate that. And I certainly pledge that if there's anything that's not just an obvious, immediate response, if there's anything of any controversial or contentious nature on the content, of course, I'll bring it back
And there
to the
and there
focus.
certainly could be
I don't
information, people
anticipate
wanting
that
to know
happening.
This information or this information, that information.
Well, things are moving so quickly
Right.
that in some ways, everything as soon as we get it drafted is already obsolete. But being on the Hill yesterday, it really was very empowering to people who don't even know what an ANC is, that look, there's this whole bundle of resolutions that we're showing up with. And those 30-some commissions represent a vast majority of the residents of the District of Columbia. Every single one of us represents roughly 2,000 residents, so.
Well, I do like the fact that we've kept our resolution in a positive manner, spelled out pretty well, and we're not in the condemnation field.
Yep.
So
It's a matter of fact.
Yep.
Do we have a treasurer's report?
Oh, we do, well. Hold on a second, let's put it up over here real quick.
Since the fiscal year is ending? Or do we need to get our reimbursement request to you before the end of September?
Yes.
Please get your reimbursement request to me right away.
Yeah, okay.
We currently have 63, well, we started the month with $63,904.96 in the bank, and we ended the month with the exact same amount. There were no deposits or no additions. The checks that we signed and that you mailed have not been cashed yet. So so we couldn't.
Swear I mailed them.
What's that?
I swear I mailed them. I put them right in the mailbox.
Okay. Yeah, I think there was some dispute also with the mayor's office about, and the office of the ONC about the ANC supporting with our funds translation services requested by the Department of DEMPED. Yeah, and they said that, OANC said that, they should be paying themselves and it shouldn't be coming from the ANC. So I guess we'll just request a reimbursement.
We actually paid that though.
We did.
Yes.
So they just need to be reimbursed.
Just need to be reimbursed.
Yes. So we,
Right.
if they would have made that discussion like 30 minutes before then or an hour before that, I wouldn't have put the check in the mailbox. But the check is in the mailbox. So yes, we don't want to stiff the people. So got it.
Can we perhaps receive a list of things that that we might pay for that are reimbursable? Like DocuSign or
Yeah, I need my.
some of those things.
Is there a list?
You have a bunch, don't you, Michael?
Yes, I have a bunch. I have the mailbox, internet, et cetera. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 14th, in this room. I do not I don't have anything else for the agenda tonight. Move to adjourn and seconded.
Third.
Thirded. Okay, thank you all so very much. Have a great night, and we hope to see you on October 14th.
Thanks, everybody.
I'm a reporter for The Watch. I'm a student at American University, a graduate student. And I just moved here and I'm covering Chinatown and Penn this semester. So I'm getting to know the area. We hit the ground, hit the ground. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. So this has been a busy week, but I wanted to get to know you guys in person, show my face, because I just don't want to be sending emails and you guys wondering who it is. Who is this?